The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Pauline Verzosa. The Philippine Coast Guard deploys 2 vessels to Rosal Reef following reports of harassment by a Chinese helicopter. PCG Commandant Admiral Ronnie Gil Gavan ordered the deployment of BRP Melchora Aquino and BRP Cabra to the area. The mission aims to ensure the safety of Filipino fishermen exercising their right to fish freely in the West Philippine Sea. Now, this comes after a Chinese Navy helicopter was seen hovering over a Filipino fishing boat operating near Rosal Reef. President Bongbong Marcos expressed concern about reports of a Russian attack submarine in our exclusive economic zone. Mobile journalist Julie Baiza has that report.
That's very concerning. Any intrusion into the West Philippine Sea of our EEZ or of our baselines is very worrisome.
This was President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s statement following the recent sighting of a Russian attack submarine in the West Philippine Sea. Marcos did not make any more comment as he said he would let the military discuss the issue.
Let the military discuss it with you, but I don't think it's a subject that we should.
The National Security Council then announced that the Russian submarine coordinated and answered the radio challenges from the Philippines. They also explained that the submarine is not within the territorial sea of the country.
So technically, the Russian ship is exercising freedom of navigation.
Okay, so
Part pa rin yan ng high seas, kaya kahit sinong barko ay pwedeng dumaan dyan, so long as hindi siya naglo-loiter or hindi siya kumukuha ng mga natural resources, o kaya naman meron siyang ibang ginagawa na hindi tama, no? Gaya ng paggawa, for example, ng Marine Scientific Survey. So in this case, hindi naman ginagawa ng barkong yan, nagsabi naman siya na nag-aantay lang siya na gumantay yung panahon.
Meanwhile, PBBM led a gift-giving event for the residents of Marilac Hills and Haven for women in Muntinlupa City. The president handed over essential supplies, including sacks of rice, food packs, medicines, bags of toiletries, and supplies for babies in celebration of the Christmas season.
Senador pa ako at civilian pa ako, pupunta ako rito. At nakakatuwa naman na makita kayo at kahit papano ay na-celebrate natin yung Pasko.
He also assured them that the government will exhaust all means possible to allow every Filipino to experience a Merry Christmas amid challenges.
Kahit na nasunugan ng mga iba't ibang lugar, kahit papano, tiyakin natin, tayong lahat, kami lahat, na lahat ng Pilipino, lalo na itong mga maliliit, itong mga bata, ay dapat ang mga bata kahit papano makaramdam ng Pasko, kahit sila ay naging biktima ng bagyo, kahit sila ay naiwan pa sa mga evacuation center, basta kami sa pamahalaan, titiyakin namin lahat ng Pilipino ay may Merry Christmas ngayong 2024.
As part of the program, the children also showcased their talent and perform in front of the president. Mobile journalist Julie Baiza, we are One News.
AFP spokesperson Francis Padilla says the detection of a Russian submarine in the West Philippine Sea falls under freedom of navigation. She also noted that it occurred within the country's exclusive economic zone in accordance with UNCLOS. Here's an excerpt from her interview on The Big Story.
Tell us how you were able to spot the Russian submarine. Were we doing air patrols? Were they sea patrols who spotted them? What happened?
First of all, good evening, Sean, Mase, and Denise, and thank you for having us tonight. Foremost, this submarine was detected by our radar that is from the Philippine Navy. And so it was reported to us, and we confirmed that it was in November 28th that this Russian submarine identified as UFA 490 was sighted 80 nautical miles west of Cape Calavite, which is in Occidental Mindoro.
But if the submarine did not surface, ma'am, meron ba tayong capability? Do we have enough asset to monitor or to detect kung may pumapasok dun sa exclusive economic zone natin?
Yes, ma'am. No, we have a mix of different equipment to be able to detect yung presence nga nito surfaced or underwater.
Okay. We just want to know, Colonel Padilla, whether this radar is new. We understand we were talking about the new laws, yung maritime zones natin and archipelagic sea lanes. And we understand that that is not yet in effect, but it seems like this radar was already able to monitor. Ito po ba yung radar that we're going to be using to enforce our territories? And is it new?
We have different set of equipments, and we also have from our partners, no. So we actually share information, and ito naman part na rin ng modernization assets that we have been acquiring through the years.
And Colonel, if the submarine was tracked by that radar that you mentioned a while ago, by our own system, are we now able to monitor other vessels? Is that what it means? And kung oo po, up to what extent?
This is what's important with this, no, that we were able to monitor nga the presence of this submarine. So with this, we can see that the capabilities are really getting to be modernized at this point, no, and because of this, we were able to immediately deploy assets to monitor and address the situation. And with that, we were able to ensure the security of the Filipino waters.
Pero, Colonel, is this really a cause of concern? Well, President Bongbong Marcos earlier mentioned that this is very worrisome. But I heard the National Security Council, well, particularly Assistant Director General Jonathan Malaya, mentioned that this is just part of the freedom of navigation. Right. So which is which?
Of course, we were surprised that may Russian nga, no, na vessel within our waters. So that is the one that is of concern to us, that meron ngang ganitong presence. But what is important to note is that we were able to detect them and react accordingly.
And now for the weather, the shear line continues to affect parts of Luzon. Scattered rains are expected over Metro Manila, Cagayan, Isabela, and Quirino, as well as in Aurora, Nueva Ecija, Bulacan, Rizal, Quezon, and Kalayaan Islands. The northeast monsoon, or Amihan, will also trigger rains in several areas. These include Cagayan Valley, Cordillera Administrative Region, and Ilocos provinces. 3 people were reported dead in Bicol region due to inclement weather. The casualties were swept away by the strong currents of floodwaters in Camarines Sur. In Sorsogon, around 100 families were evacuated to safer areas. In Lopez, Quezon, one barangay hall was inundated by floodwaters. Residents said rains were non-stop in the area for around 2 days.
Ilang taon na akong nakatira dito, lagi na itong binabaha. Wala na pong solusyon. Paano po kayo masasolusyonan ito? Hindi po kami pwedeng umalis, biro nung wala naman kami ibang mapupuntahan. Ito talaga ang aming tahanan.
Almost 2 billion malicious and scam messages were prevented by a telecommunications company this year. Smart Communications reported that 200 million of them were just recorded in October alone. They said that scammers are now using IMSI catchers or fake cell towers to send millions of scam messages. The Philippine Chamber of Telecom Operators are aiming to coordinate to authorities in catching criminals using IMSI catchers.
Dapat may coordinate ka din na law enforcement agent na puhuli sa kanila. So we're still in that na we're exploring possible suppliers for those hardware solutions para ma-apprehend o ma-monitor itong mga nagpo-proliferate na mga IMSI catcher.
Anti-scam group Scamwatch Pilipinas suggested that telecommunication groups should have a more proactive stance in fighting scammers. They said that reminding their subscribers on text and social media is not enough to combat malicious messages.
They have to create this education program. So that's why we ask them to invest on an education program, not necessarily with Scamwatch Pilipinas, but on their own, go to the grassroots.
And those are the top stories of the hour. I'm Pauline Verzosa. We are One News.